Hey everybody, I'm here with Blossom Leilani Crawford, and we're at her new studio, Bridge Pilates.
2.0.
Yep, 2.0,
Yeah.
and in Dumbo, and it's really pretty fabulous.
Yes, thank you. Vinegar Hill, really, but nobody knows where Vinegar Hill is. It's next door to Dumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our cab driver had trouble.
Yeah, nobody knows it.
So we are here to talk about this chair,
My
which
baby.
is...
It's an original. It's so back in the day, there was a woman named Geraldine Stutz who owned the Henry Bendel's department store, and she had Mr. Pilates build her equipment for this space that she had. So there was a hairdresser salon and a Pilates studio. She loved Pilates, so
Was she a client of his?
She was a client of his, yeah. And
Cool.
she had a studio built at the Henry Bendel's department store, which is hysterical. So I guess you used to go up to the top floor, walk through the hairdresser salon, and there was the Pilates studio. It had like a black and white checkerboard floor.
And their colors are brown and white. Right?
Well, Kathy, so, you know, Kathy sort of inherited the equipment, and it was actually like this bluish green.
Oh.
And then when Kathy reupholstered it, she got it more her colors because there was someone else who was managing the studio. I think that's where Naja Corey might have worked. And then when someone dropped out and Romana called Kathy and said, hey, Kathy, I need someone for the Bendel space. Are you interested? And then when Bendel's got sold to, I forgot who, they were going to throw out the equipment. And Kathy said, well, can I have it? And they were like, yeah, sure, you have a week. And so part of it went to storage and the other part of it went to NYU, which is where Kathy worked until she died. And this is the one that was at NYU.
Wow.
So it has been working this whole time. Crazy.
The entire time it's
Yeah.
been in use.
Yeah.
And has it ever needed fixing, or?
I mean, there looks like there was one eye bolt that was changed, but I had to have the foot bar tightened ever so slightly. Mm-hmm. This doesn't look like it's been reupholstered in a long time.
So
and
this is probably the upholstery that Kathy had put on.
Oh yeah, this is definitely Kathy, because this is Kathy's colors. Like
Yeah.
she had this like rusty brown color. So
It's kind of interesting because like on the old famous cosmetic cases that Bendel's sell still, it's brown and white stripes.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's where
asked
she
that.
was coming from. Who knows? But I always, when I didn't have this chair for a long time, and when I finally got it, I remembered it being like not having a lot of padding, and then the next thing, then I got it, and I was like, wait, there's no padding. You can even see
no padding.
Yeah, no padding. I don't remember that, but you can even see there's like a hole, like a little circle or an indentation where a plywood circle is. You know how the plywood is.
There's a knot.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, it's right there. It's ridiculous. Yeah, no padding. And the other interesting thing about it is that the springs. So the way Kathy worked is that the springs were done with, there weren't, like with Romana, there were only one kind of spring, and you would do either one top on one or one on the bottom or one in the middle for like arm stuff. Right. And that's not how, that's not the chair that Kathy inherited, and she kind of kept that going. Mm-hmm. The chair that Kathy got had kind of like in the Cadillac, how there are leg springs and arm springs. Mm-hmm. So there were fatter, heavier springs for the leg work, like going up front or the forward lunge. That I'm not using right now, exactly. And then if you look, there are thinner, narrower ones, and those were more of the arm stuff. And yeah, and I actually stopped doing Wunda chair for a long time because it just didn't feel right for some things. Mm-hmm. You know, not all things, but for some things. And then once I got this, and I was like, oh yeah, that's how.
I remember now.
Right, but you know, everyone likes the way the chair was when they got the way they learned it, and so this is the way I learned it. So I have very particular ideas about it. But Kathy was also kind of crazy with the springs. Like remember, she would be like, "Oh no, it has to be right high, left low." But she was just like she had extensive notes.
It's super
extensive.
Extensive, or what I wanted, super exact about where she wanted things.
Yes. So it was a little. Yeah, so I don't go quite that far, but I like the way it feels, especially for the stuff lying down on the ground, like the pumping from the floor. Mm-hmm. And I think this is also because Kathy was a knee person. She liked it being evenly sprung, and she felt that it didn't feel right when it was only sprung on one side.
Interesting.
She was Princess on the Pea when it came to springs.
And does this chair actually?
Oh, spin. Let me show the other side.
Does this chair actually turn into a chair that you can sit in like the other?
I mean, I'm sure it does, but it doesn't have the nice pad, you know, like it doesn't, like others have that sort of upholstery right here.
Right, or there's pads that you
Or, yeah, exactly, yeah. I don't know, it never.
Who knows where that is?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, that's the thing.
So, and then tell me, do you know it was made by Joe?
Well, you know, the cool thing, sorry, I just realized, there's a picture of, I can't remember the paper, but you can find it. There's a picture of Mr. Pilates sitting on one, so there were two Wunda chairs, sitting on a Wunda chair, and it said, Pilates into Bendel's. Like, and so there's
I've seen this newspaper.
Yeah.
Article. Okay, I'll have to find
And then
that.
so I don't know if he like hammered the nails in himself, but it was definitely his stuff.
And according to his direction.
Right, and it also has that original plaque that all of his, like, remember how there was at Romana's studio at Drago's, how there was that one Wunda chair that was the really old one?
Yeah.
It had a plaque on it. It had that same plaque. Like, all that original equipment had the same plaque on it. And it's funny because it says Universal Reformer.
Yeah. Pilates,
even though it's not a reformer.
Pilates Universal Reformer, patented, it has a patent number.
Right.
Pilates Studios of Contrology, New York, Berlin, London, Paris, and this was made in the USA.
And it also has like a serial number on it, 260. But I think
love that there's New York, London, Paris.
I know.
Berlin.
But I remember actually when the sort of the lawsuit happened, like, and the courtroom came to Drago's gym.
Yes.
And one of the questions was well, this says Universal Reformer and this is on a barrel. Why does it say that? And I remember it being like, oh, that's interesting, and sort of. But I always think that Mr. Pilates probably bought a bunch of these metal plaques and didn't want to.
He didn't want to redo them.
Right, didn't want to make like the universal blah blah, and you just right. Doesn't that sound like you know? Because
I'm with you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my baby.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right? Oh, can I show one more thing?
Definitely.
The other funky thing it has is, maybe I can tilt it. So in the foot bar, you can see there's a hole right there. Yeah, and I use that actually, especially in footwork. It's a great way to sort of be able to align yourself because you can push the pedal down.
Oh, I see. Because if you're looking at it directly,
right, you know where center is. So on the other chair that I had, the other Wunda chair I have, I actually had them drill a hole, which they were like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, give me a hole right at center so I know where center is."
So one last question.
Yeah.
Feeling the springs made me think of this.
Yeah.
What springs are these equivalent to? Are these grots or? What are they?
I had them made.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Specifically, you did?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not quite right yet, but I'm working on it. But yeah, they're
And the
they're.
heavier ones are the same. You had those made too?
No, those are the ones that came with this chair.
Wow.
I know.
They've lasted all this time.
Well, yeah, I think Kathy replaced them right before, and actually was even able to get some of her other Wunda chair springs. I think that's what I might have replaced these with, or I don't remember anymore.
Right, I hear you.
I know.
Wow, it's wonderful.
There's
Thanks,
my
Blossom.
chair. You're welcome, honey.